Okay, so this is a little bit of a change for you all. Look at this, all these ingredients. Quite often the cake's just sat there ready to go. So we thought it'd be really nice for a wee change since it's Christmas to make some from scratch all the way through to the decoration for it to then be served up on the plate on Christmas Day. So that's exciting. So we're making our own Christmas cake that we'll be using on Christmas Day, and here we go. So we're making a traditional Christmas fruit cake, much to David's dislike because he's not a fan of it. But don't worry, David, you will have a nice chocolate cake or a cheesecake on Christmas Day. So what I've got here is a nice selection of different ingredients. Now, I've not made fruit cake for a long time, so I had a look online to see what was going on. So I'm actually using a bit of a mashup of a few different recipes. I've got a little bit of Mary Berry's Christmas fruit cake in here. I've got a bit of Nigel Lawson in here, and I've got a bit of an American online company that I can't remember the name of. It was like a bit of a blog. And then mixed in with my own thoughts on the process as well. So it's a bit of a mash, but I'm sure it will taste amazing when it comes out of the oven. Now, the big thing we've got to do first of all is we've got to get the fruit soaked, cleaned first, and then soaked. So to clean the fruit, so what I've got here is 1 kg of a mixture of sultanas, raisins, and currants. So I've just put them in a big bowl. The big bowl's down there, actually I'll just show you. So I just popped them all in here once I'd washed them all into this big plastic container. Okay, you can see it's still got some of the moisture in there. So to wash them, just get a few at a time, put it in the sieve under the water, cold water, and just give a good old shake around and let it you'll see all the bits, the colour coming out of it, and then really just check through with your hands to make sure there's no branches, because sometimes you get little branches inside when you buy the fruit. Not often nowadays, but in the old days it used to be quite bad. But I always like to double check. I did see a few tiny little bits when I was cleaning it out. Once you've done that, pop it into the big container that I had there, and then you want to soak it in your favourite tipple, your favourite alcohol. I've used Cointreau to get a nice little orangey flavour, because I like the thought of it being quite a citrusy cake. And we've pinched the whiskey that we just usually use for very, very, very special occasions. I did have some Aldi's Best whiskey around there, and I just thought, no, I'm going to go the full hog and use a very expensive one. So this is the Glenlivet. I'm not sure how much it costs, but it's not cheap because it comes in one of those little fancy metal container things. But the smell was amazing. So that was about 10 days ago, and I poured. You can see how much I've used here. So this is about 50.5 litre, and I used roughly half a bottle. So I poured it in about a quarter of it, the bottle, for a couple of days. And then I put the other quarter in, so about half a bottle after that. And with the whiskey, I just put my thumb over top and put some in, and then put some more in again. So just whatever you feel is the right quantity is fine for that. Okay, so now you don't have to put whiskey, you don't have to put alcohol in it at all. You can just leave it plain. It still tastes really good. So that was about 10 days. And every couple of days I would give the tub a big shake to make sure the fruit was actually getting mixed around, so it wasn't just the stuff in the bottom that was getting soaked. And then what you have to do is you need to get your sieve, and you need to sieve out all the juices from there, and then just drink that. No, don't drink it, just throw it away because it won't taste very nice. And you can see here it's just soaking, but the fruits went really plump, and it just smells amazing. Okay, so this is the excess. I've got some spare stuff, so I'm actually going to try and make another little cake later on today as well, just as a little backup one as well. So there we go. Oops, try not to let it fall back into the juice. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to add the butter. So if you just get your butter, now the butter's came to room temperature, 250 grams of unsalted butter. So I'm going to pop that into the mixer. There we go. And then we want to add our sugar. Now I can't remember the recipes, the quantities, so I'm just going to double check. I've got my little scribbles down here. 250 grams of, now I never to pronounce it, Muscovado sugar, light brown sugar. So that's going to go in there. Just Good. And then we want to get our eggs. So I've got 5 small eggs. Let's just see, 5 small. Yeah, I've got 5 small eggs, or you can use 4 large eggs. Again, bring them to room temperature. Pop that in there. Now the flour and I'm just going to use a mixed spice, which has got a wee bit of everything in it. Where is it? It must be that one. Yeah, mixed spice. So I'm just going to use the mixed spice, and I'm not going to use, you can just buy the individual ones and add them individually, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we've got the mixed spice, and we've got our ground almonds. We're going to add them in the second batch, and then the last batch that we'll be adding in are the fruit, the treacle, and the mixed spice, and the zest. So we just want to bring that down. There we go, and just put it onto a low speed. Sorry, my mixer always has a nice, lovely little squeak. So while that's mixing away on low speed, now very, very lucky here that we have our own lemon tree in the garden and our own orange tree. Now it's they've just turned, it's a little bit on the green side, but I just couldn't resist using our own lemon. So this is the first lemon we've picked from the tree. Sorry, it's very, very squeaky. I've tried to adjust it, and it just doesn't work for some reason. So where are we? Yeah, so just using the side of the grater. Oh yeah, I can smell the lemon straight away. Now I've given the fruit a good wash. So the zest of 1 lemon and the zest of 1 orange. Or you can just do 2 oranges if you want. Oh my goodness, it's so annoying. It's because it's one of those silicone beaters that scrapes along the bottom, so at least you know it's scraping the bottom. As I say, I've tried to adjust it with the tool, and it's not made any difference. So I do apologise. There we go, that looks good. And then the same with the orange. And what we'll do is we'll just chuck that in amongst the fruit. Oh, it smells really good. I'm gonna eat this orange after this, and I'm gonna make myself a gin and tonic for the lemon. There we go. Good. There we go. So just give that a wee dent. There we go. Nice. So what I'll do is I'm just going to pop. You see there how much is there, so that looks nice. So just going to pop that into the fruit, and then just pop the cherries in there. Now I've cut the cherries into quarters, just to so they're not too big. Now I'm just going to get my little palette knife and just give that a stir in. So when I mix it into the mix, oh, that looks lovely. There we go. And I'll just pop in my little mixed peel, 50 grams of mixed peel. Now, I was just saying on Facebook Live before we came on there, I'm going to switch this off. When we had the cake shop, we had most requests for fruitcake was no mixed peel. So a lot of people don't like the mixed peel because it can be a little bit hard sometimes. So I've just normally it would be 100 grams of mixed peel, but I've just reduced it to 50 grams. So obviously the recipe's down below. I've not mentioned all the weights here. Okay. Right. Okay, that looks really fabby. It's got a right Christmassy feel because of the reds and the sort of gold colours and the fruit. It smells lovely as well. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is just going to open this up. This is the bit I don't like doing. I don't think anyone likes doing it. Now you can see the butter's not quite as soft as I hoped it for, but once we mix all the ingredients in it, it'll be fine. Is adding the treacle, because it can be a little bit messy, the old treacle. Now, where have we put down the treacle? So yeah, so you just want 1 big tablespoon. Now, sometimes it's good if you're making a lot of this stuff, is to actually put your treacle into a basin of really hot water, and it makes it much easier to get it in and out. So I'm just literally going to dunk the spoon in, lift it out, round a few times, and then off. There we go. And then in there. Got a wee teaspoon here. I don't want to use that because it's for my spices, but never mind. There you go, and just hit that eddied in there. That's going to give that really nice dark, rich colour, and obviously adds to the taste as well. Okay, so very, very sticky. Now, maybe have added it a little bit more, but I'm just going to go with that. Oh, there we go. Just scrape off the beater. Very, very gracious looking. Okay, so pop that in there. Now, I'm going to pop this back on just for a wee minute or two, so just bear with me. We're just going to fast forward this bit. So that's that done. I've got myself another wee teaspoon. So now I don't have my little collar to tip things in, which is a wee bit annoying. So I'm just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. So now it's time for the flour and the almonds. So I'm going to put in all the flour. There we go. And all the almonds. There we go. And also the mixed spice. So I'm putting 1.5 teaspoons, and I quite like my spices, so I'm going to put them quite big. So let's see, so there's 1.5. Okay. Smells good. Okay, and just 1 teaspoon of almond essence. Here we go. So all that's left to go in now is the fruitcake, is the fruit. So I'm just going to pop that down, just on low speed. It's not squeaking as much now, so that's quite good. So I don't have to worry about the noise so much. But again, I'm going to leave it a couple of minutes, and then when we come back, we're going to add in the fruit. Okay, so there we go. So that's that mixed together, and the butters all came together just what I hope so for. So what I'm going to do is just lift this up, and I'm going to give it a little scrape down.
Maybe tip it so we can see the consistency.
Yeah. Alright, so I'll tip it on here. Can you see? Let's scrape it down and just put it back on again. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so what I want to do is I just want to give it a wee quick scrape down actually. To be honest, it's actually pretty well mixed up anyway. Okay. You can just see there's some almonds stuck in the middle of the mixer there. So I just want to get them all scraped down. So just give that a wee scrape. There we go. There we go. Right. And then what we're going to do is just while I'm just waiting for that mix up, we can get rid of this. And just pop that in there actually just now. We're going to mix the fruit in by hand. We don't want to really beat the fruit in, we just want to do it by hand. So just give that a wee second to mix up. Nice big wooden spoon, or you can use a large metal spoon. So that'll be fine. Okay, so just, there you go. Right. Give this a wee scrape down again. Oh, the smell was just amazing. There we go. Right. Now, the one thing about fruitcake is it's not the cheapest thing to make. So if you're going the hog, just make sure you definitely get good quality ingredients. Don't try and skimp. Oh no, we're finished with that, yeah. Okay, so I'll just move that out of the way actually, it'll be a bit easier. There we go. Good. Right, so we just want to get our lovely selection of fruit, and we just want to throw some in, a drop at a time, get your wooden spoon, and we just want to mix that around. Yeah. Okay. Now, an interesting story, when you'll have heard, some of you have heard this story before. When I was very lucky to get, I thought I saw a wee foreign object, a wee bit of stick there. When I got my first job abroad making a wedding cake, I'm just going to pop it all in there. It was actually part of it was actually because of a fruit cake. So this wedding bride bride and groom, they wanted a traditional British fruitcake, and the hotel in Monaco tried to make the cake. It was actually an Old Biro recipe they were given, because I remember seeing the email, and the French pastry chef kept on halving the fruit because he thought it can't be right. So they kept on changing the recipe rather than just follow the recipe to they just kept on changing it all the time, and of course they kept on tasting this cake and it wasn't good. So they ended up looking back in Edinburgh for where they actually got together, the bride and groom, and they thought they would try and find a cake maker from the Edinburgh area, and that's how I got the commission to go to Monaco. So we had to bake, gosh, how many? Hundreds of fruit cakes, and ship them over to Monaco. David baked, I think it was you who baked them? Yeah, David had to bake all these fruit cakes and ship them over to Monaco for me to arrive there to then make the fruit cake. Christmas wedding cake. Right, so I think that looks pretty good. It's all mixed through, so I'm very happy with that. That looks grand. So I've lined a cake pan. Now I'm going to go for 8-inch cake. Now there might be a little bit left over from this one, so you could probably get a 10-inch cake from it. But I want to have two square 8-inch cakes, so if there's a little bit excess, I'm going to add it into the next batch that I make from that one. So there should be a little bit extra, or probably perfect for a 10-inch round. Now if I just get that, and we just want to spoon, or I'm going to use the scraper. Now what you've got to think about with a fruit cake is the deeper it is, the longer it's going to take to bake. So you don't want it to be like really deep. Like I wouldn't fill it right to the top. You're not going to get much rise because it's not a self-rising flour in it. It's plain flour. So you just got to make a decision on it. So I'd say about an inch from the top would be good. This is a 3-inch deep tin, so 2 inches. Or maybe a wee bit higher than that, we'll see. To be honest, I think I'm actually going to get it all in. Yeah, I'm going to get it all in. There we go. Yeah. I'd tweaked the recipe and added extras. Like I like more cherries, so I've added a lot more cherries to the mix. So I just thought I was going to have a lot more. Oh, it's perfect size. Right, you think I'd pre-planned that? Okay. Right, so just make sure it's nice and flat. Okay. So the oven has been set at 140 for the fan oven. So just increase it a little bit more if you've got a convention oven, maybe 150. Okay. Trying to get this nice and flat. It's quite hard with this. Oh, there we go. Change the sides to a square, the square side. That's better. Okay. Let's bring that over there. Just try to get into the edges. There we go. I think that is pretty flat. Yeah. Alright, so there we go. So I'm not going to put it in the oven just now because my hands are covered in mix. So into the oven for minimum 2 hours. So after 2 hours, get your little cocktail stick or your bamboo skewer, should I say. Pop it into the middle and then slowly pull it back out. If it looks really clean, then that's it done. If it's got a nice golden brown. If not, it can take up to 4 hours in the oven. So but don't check. Don't open that door. Remember the 2 hour rule. Wait for 2 hours, have a wee look. Now, if it looks like when you pull it out it's a little sticky, but the top's looking very golden brown, it's something that's quite good to wrap some tin foil around the tin, just to stop it from baking anymore on the top. Okay, so I shall see you in a couple of hours' time, hopefully. Smells amazing in here. So the cake's been in for 4 hours, actually about 4 hours and 10 minutes. So it's taken a wee bit longer than I was expecting. So let's have a wee look. Now, after the 2 hour mark, it actually came out pretty clean, the bamboo stick, but it just didn't have that rich dark colour about it. So I poked it a few times, a few wee bit crumbs, so I have kept it in and just kept on checking it all the time, and it does look more like a nice rich fruit cake now. So let's have a wee look. I'm just going to turn that off. There we go. Well, yeah, look at that. You can see that lovely colour. It smells good. So close the oven door. Actually, let's just double check, so you can see if you're. Can you see from above? Yes, you can. Yeah, so you can see some of the little marks there. So just pop it in, give it a slight wiggle, so it keeps it when it comes out. And there you can see they're nice and clean. Only one little crumb coming out of there. So just check it in a few areas. It's usually the middle, obviously, that's the bad bit. Yep, that's good. It's got a few wee crumbs there, but nothing to worry about. Again, yeah, there we go. That's great. Now, what you can do is that you can just pop a few wee holes in it. So obviously, once that cools down, actually when it cools down, I'll put a few more holes in there. You want to then get your whiskey. I'm going to put a little bit of whiskey over the top of it just to soak it in. Now obviously I'm doing something different because I'm actually going to be using this tomorrow straight off. There's no rest time for this poor little cake, so I'll be getting marzipan and turned into a Christmas cake tomorrow. So yeah, so just as it cools, before it just goes completely cold, it's good to give it a little sprinkle, and then when it's completely cold, this greaseproof paper stays on here. I then wrap another bit of greaseproof paper right around it, and then wrap it in tin foil once it's completely cooled. And then generally I put it in a food bag and then just keep it on the shelf like that. So if this was cake shop and with lots of orders, then I would just put down there, so this is Mrs. Smith's Christmas cake. So when you're in, you know when the cakes have all been baked and you've got the names on them to keep you right. Remember, put a wee sticker on the side if you're making loads, so you don't have to keep on lifting them up and down all the time. So you got them on the shelf. When we had the cake shop, our storerooms full of Christmas cakes or rich fruit cakes for weddings and Christmas, with the little names on the side. And if you're soaking them, maybe you just do maybe 3 soaks. So just put a line every time you soak it, so you don't forget how many times you've actually fed it. So you know how many times it's been fed. The last thing it would do is have it overly fed or underfed, I suppose, as well. So 3 or 4 times is usually plenty for a cake. So I'm going to put the kettle on. I'm just going to eat this straight out of the oven because it smells divine. Now, obviously, you would. It's best. I always think it's best to keep the fruit cake in the tin until it cools. I never try and tip it out because there is a risk that you could damage it. It's not quite as strong when it's soft as a sponge cake. It can be a little bit brittle. So just leave it in there. Just pop a wee cake card over the top. In fact, I've got a wee cake card there. Just something like this, little card, and then just place it on there. Stop any flies, but don't press down too much. You want to let the moisture leave it, but stop any flies from getting in there. All right, so that's that finished. Fruitcake's done. Happy days. And then, as I say, tomorrow I'm going to film a tutorial on how to decorate a marzipan and make it into a little Christmas cake. Thanks for watching. Bye. Merry Christmas.